Oh, the Apple Vision Pro. Yes, chat. Hold on, he did no. He has an update video. Him like actually testing it out and shit. There we go. Damn, 37 minutes. Shit. It's a lot.
All right, so you've seen the unboxing. Now it's time for the breakdown. What is using the Apple Vision Pro actually like? This is easily one of Apple's craziest, most radical, possibly dystopian products of all time, and I have a lot of thoughts here. Like, I've been using it for about a week now. There are some parts of this thing that are absolutely incredible and some other parts that feel weird or borderline unfinished. There are all kinds of new technologies, from a new operating system to...
Chat, how much is this? How much is this thing? It's like, hold on, I'm about to look up the price. Hold on.
that are a lot of...
Hold on, what time is this? 30. All right, y'all, we're about to check out this Apple Vision Pro. I've been wanting to see what someone actually used this for a minute. If you guys like the video, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the Plug channel. Go follow my live channel, Sierra in Abundance Live. The link is going to be in the description. And drop a follow to the Twitch and the Kick to pull up to the live streams. I mostly stream on Kick. No, I mostly stream on Twitch, but I also stream on Kick every now and then. So you guys click the link to the Twitch stream, pull up to the stream, say, hey, I am blank from this video, and I will give you a proper greeting. But let's see what Marquise got. Like, y'all know Marquise is like the GOAT tech YouTuber, right? Like, this is not a conversation. And I trust his opinion. Like, I trust his opinion. He's literally the GOAT. Some people are gonna say, what's his name? White dude with the blonde, orangish hair. Linus. Some people are gonna say Linus. I don't care. Marquise is the GOAT. What was that? It's called the Apple Vision. I want to know how much this is. Like, I'm gonna guess like 3,000 or 4,000. Okay, so it looks like it's 3,500. Oh my god, look at the reviews. Look at the, oh my god. Oh my god, are they forcing me to allow my location? Whoa, 6,000. Damn. Some of them 5,000. Oh my god, the ratings don't look that good. So why are we getting different prices? Oh, 4,600 with the add-ons. Damn. See, anybody that gets this, bro, let's be real. It doesn't make sense because this is the first version. Anyone with sense knows you don't get the first version of anything, chat. Don't get the first version of anything. It's always gonna have issues.
Thoughts here. Like, I've been using it for about a week now. There are some parts of this thing that are absolutely incredible and some other parts that feel weird or borderline unfinished. There are all kinds of new technologies, from a new operating system to infrared eye tracking to virtually reconstructed versions of you. I feel like there are so many actually new things that you have to understand in order to get a sense of what this headset actually is and what it does. So I'm gonna break this down into two parts. This video is all about using the Vision Pro. It's everything I've learned from the past week of wearing and getting used to this thing every single day. But I'm also working on a more wide-ranging, possibly more existential review video.
Oh, okay. That's what we're gonna get into, how dystopian it is.
The more hardware fundamentals, right?
Chat, first thing I'm thinking when I look at this, it gotta be heavy as hell. It gotta be heavy, chat. It gotta be, bro. It just looks super heavy. Nah, dude, hold on. QB said, yikes, not them saying it sucks. I thought I was right. 6K. I mean, but it seems like it seems like it's somewhere between like 3,000 and 6,000. It seems like it can replace TV cable and streaming services. But my thing is, what about the fatigue that it's gonna have on your head and neck? Like, even wearing headphones for a minute starts to like hurt. And this thing looks heavy and like it's gonna be strapped on kind of tight. And I'm concerned about what that does to your eyes to have like a screen that close. It's a little scary because it's not even good for us to look at TVs and computers for a long time, let alone something like right here.
Like,
yeah, what? Right, because I've worn the MetaQuest too. I wore in the MetaQuest, and it's not super heavy, but like it's not that it has to be heavy as soon as you put it on. Over time, it feels heavier and heavier, and that stuff can kind of cause some like tension. Did I hear about the VR headset that will kill you if you lose in a game? It's not made, but someone wants to make it and see if people will play it. Kill you? How? What you mean?
Is this thing that I'm holding, literally. Apple Vision Pro, at its core, well, it is a VR headset. Now, Apple would never say that, and they probably won't like that.
Exactly, it is a VR headset. Hey, Apple about to be sick because they sent him this stuff. They probably got it sent to him early and everything, and he like, yeah, it's an overpriced VR, y'all.
Saying that word, you know, I made an entire video about why they refuse to use those words, and they're calling it spatial computing instead. We'll
spatial
get there. But the truth is, it's a
really,
really high-end virtual reality headset. It's something we've seen before, right? It's got displays and lenses and speakers and fans and buttons, and this is a form factor. This is a thing that we have seen before. But before I even turn this thing on, there are clearly several things that are a little different about this one. So first of all, it's made of metal. Lots of metal and glass here, which are high quality, but heavy materials, relatively speaking. So there's this precisely machined aluminum frame around the outside. And yes, those are intakes for fans at the bottom, and then vents for...
It had a rod, I believe, in the headset, and it will jab into your skull and kill you. Okay, what country is allowing that, QB? That's all I'm curious about. What country is allowing that to happen? I would make a guess, but I don't want to sound xenophobic or anything. Like, D-Ware said, right over time, my neck was banging. Yeah, bro, like, I'm trying to see. This looks heavier than a MetaQuest. Really? That concept is based off of anime. Why someone would create a deadly VR headset is beyond me. So you're saying this one is based off of anime, the Vision Pro, or the killing VR thing?
Those fans at the top. On the right side, there's your digital crown that can be pressed in or turned. And then on the other side is just a single larger button. So kind of basically the same two buttons as an Apple Watch. And then when you get a little further back on this band here, these little pods with downward facing grills, these are speakers, which are pointed straight at your ears and work surprisingly well. Though, of course, it also means that people around you can hear a little bit of what you're hearing. There's a little bit of bleed. And I have a lot to say about spatial audio, so stay tuned for that. But the main event is at the front. There's an enormous piece of glass, which, yes, is very easy to fingerprint and smudge. And then behind that thing, there's this outward-facing OLED display and a bunch of sensors all the way around. Outside-facing...
The deadly VR things from an anime? The killing one, but someone wants to make the death headset to see how extreme someone wants to go for a game. Yeah, okay. They got it. Why you can't do something like... Shit, even knock somebody out with some gas. Let's just get crazy since we saying anything now. They couldn't make something where it knocks you out. It gotta kill you? Come on, bro.
Sensors that go forward, sideways, and straight down. There's depth sensors, infrared illuminators, LiDAR scanners, and just regular old RGB cameras, all being processed by an M2 chip and an R1 chip inside this thing. And then maybe the craziest part, inside the headset, there are a bunch more sensors facing your eyes, tracking your eyes in real time for all the eye control and everything that comes with that, and also then to display a representation of your eyes on the outside of the headset, kinda. We'll get there. But overall, when you put it all together, you get a very well-made, very high-end, but also pretty heavy computer to wear on your face. So officially, this headset with this Solo Knit band, when I weighed it, showed up as 638 grams, which some of you on Twitter have already pointed out is actually slightly less than the plastic MetaQuest Pro. But that Quest Pro also has a lot of battery on the back of your head as a sort of a counterbalance. So the weight distribution is very different. Also, the Quest Pro is not that comfortable anyway. But the point is, this, for Apple, made the choice of taking the battery off of the headset, which means, okay, now there's nothing on the back of your head, so you can wear it and lean up against things, and that might be an upside, but that also now means you have to deal with this cable all the time running up to your head, and the fact that it's very front weighted now. All of the weight is on the front of your face. So this is the battery.
Just thinking about it, I would probably want I would want it to be balanced with like weight in the front and the back rather than just on the front side. I feel like that would cause like more tension.
As you saw in the unboxing. If you haven't already seen the unboxing, that just went up. I'll link it below the like button. But this battery is a surprisingly small 3,366 milliamp hours. I say surprisingly small because a normal battery bank of this size, you might expect to be 10, 15, 20,000 milliamp hours. I suspect there's a lot of heat insulation happening here, but it comes with a non-removable 4-foot cable and a proprietary connector at the end of the cable that will twist and lock to the headset. And so the lock is really solid. It makes sense that it's not just straight USB that could get disconnected easily. Once you connect it, it starts glowing and then it starts booting up. And there's even a little
smart.
Apple logo that displays on the outside screen while it takes, a little under a minute to turn on. So there is no on or off button or switch anywhere on this headset, maybe kind of like AirPods Max or something like that. So if you ever take the headset off and put it down, it will enter a standby mode after some time, but it won't turn off. If you want to turn it off, you literally have to twist and unplug the cable. That's the only way to actually turn the headset off. Now, famously already, the battery life with this included battery is not super long on this headset. 2 to 4 hours is actually realistic for what you can expect for just like this built-in battery. But that's also kind of right in line with a lot of other VR headsets. Battery life on VR headsets is not that great in general. If you do want to use it longer, the only way to do that is there's a USB-C port on the battery, and you have to plug the battery in. So you can plug the battery into the wall for infinite battery life, or...
Oh my God. Okay. I don't even know how I watch this section. The battery sections are literally the most boring part of every review. Like, I understand it's important. Yes, it's important, but come on, guys. Come on, Chad. Don't nobody want to talk about the damn battery. I want to see him using it. Okay, I don't want to speed through everything though. I already got it on 1.25 speed.
Other input methods that are like game controllers and mouse and keyboard, and those can be incredibly useful, but by default, the primary input method for everyone using the Vision Pro is your eyes and your hands. So the first time you put on this headset, it goes through this calibration process, and it's pretty interesting. So the first time you ever put it on, it first adjusts the distance between the lenses, physically moving them inside the headset to match the distance between your eyes. Then it does a sort of a hand scan, so it understands your hands. And then you go through this process of basically looking at a bunch of dots all the way around the screen and then tapping your fingers together to select them. Kind of feels like an eye test or something. And then you're in. So first thing you're gonna notice is you can actually kind of put your hands anywhere as long as the headset can see this. Just your fingers touching together. So there's a lot of pictures of people like using a headset with their fingers like out in front of them, pinching like that. But you actually don't have to do that. It's such a wide angle because of the sensors facing forward and sideways and down. You can kind of just rest your hand anywhere in front of you in your lap.
That's pretty fine.
Like it can generally.
I'm not gonna like that's probably the coolest part about this to me. Like the fact that you can do the little like drag and scroll like that. That's kind of tough.
Which is impressive. So you're pinching to control anywhere in that.
But I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'd be thinking, chat? If this is the type of technology we have now, imagine what kind of technology the government has. I'm just saying, chat. I hate to be that person. Nah, not really. I'm fine being that person. Like, let's be honest, y'all. The government been had stuff like this probably for like 25, 50 years. I'm not gonna lie. They probably do, chat. Like, all the technology we get that's like so innovative and like groundbreaking, they've been invested in that stuff for decades. Like, it's ridiculous.
Bubble in front of you. And then the digital crown, you hit that once and the app drawer comes up. Pretty simple. Doesn't seem that impressive, but this is actually a peek at the first really impressive thing about this headset to me, which is it seems to have incredible...
Like, the one thing about this I think is so fire. I feel like this is like the closest thing we got to like Tony Stark's like little studio or whatever he has. Y'all know, look, if you watch Iron Man or the Avengers, you know, like that scene where he's like in front of his board, but like it's like just floating. It's like a floating screen like this. He's just not wearing goggles or anything, but it's like, I was like, yo, nah, I don't know when that's gonna happen. That's gotta be some futuristic stuff, or even just in general, like futuristic movies from back in the day, they always envisioned something like this. It just was either with like glasses that would show you this stuff, or it would be with like just like a random floating touch screen, basically. That's not a screen, but like just buttons that you can touch in the air. But like, I was like, nah, we're not getting that. But I think this might be the closest thing. Like, unless there's been something else, like y'all let me know if there's been something like this without the like VR. But I don't think I've seen anything like that so far.
Spatial positioning lock. And like, it's really hard to show, like, have you appreciate this through a YouTube video. Reviewing VR headsets is hard, but like, turn around in the room you're in and like picture a wall or a window just appearing locked in place in 3D space in your room. And no matter how much you move your head or move around, it stays exactly kind of floating where it's supposed to be. But when I say floating, I think you're picturing like a soft float, but it's locked. And that's how it starts. So now you're in Apple's new Vision OS. I would describe this as kind of similar to iPad OS, but way more glassy, and like, of course, with the extra dimension of 3D space. So hitting the digital crown will always get the app drawer back in front of you, and then simply look at the icon you want and pinch your fingers together to select it and open that app. Scrolling is basically as you'd expect. You just kind of pinch and grab in the air and then pull as if it's on a string, and physics let you pull things through the air. It's pretty intuitive, it's responsive, it's fluid, sometimes it's kind of bouncy even. I would say the biggest adjustment is only being able to control exactly what you're looking at. And I don't think people realize how often they're controlling things that they're not exactly looking directly at with other computers and other UIs. But with this, you can look at the button to select it. And if you look at the next thing you're going to do, you're no longer controlling the button. You have to look exactly where you're trying to interact with things. It takes a few extra brain cycles to remember to always be looking exactly at the thing you're controlling. So when you open a window of a Vision OS app, like any one of the default Apple apps here, it locks into place.
Like, chat, this is a type of thing where I would want to use it for like one day and I probably wouldn't use it again. Like, I genuinely am curious, like, who is Apple's target audience with the Vision Pro? Because like, I would think like rich tech enthusiasts, and that's pretty much it. Like, I don't really see at the current stage and mostly current price point who would be the average person using this. It's a very, very small, very, very small like percentage of people that can afford it. One, because like even the MetaQuest, what is it, 3 being like $500, that's still kind of up there. Like, we're talking like console prices, right? And that's like kind of the range, like around that 500, maybe 6 or 700 mark is kind of the range that most people that buy tech stuff, they're willing to spend in that range. The enthusiasts, they're willing to pay like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, even. Like, people like, let's just say, I would say the demographic that would buy this, I would guess, is like similar to people that would buy the Galaxy Z Fold or the Galaxy Z Flip. I don't know if y'all know what those phones are, but those are Samsung's phones. I'll show y'all. So those are the Samsung phones that are like touchscreen phones, but they fold. So like, this is the Z Fold right here, right? So it's like a big phone, but you can fold it in half, right? This is so niche and it's so expensive. It's like $2,000 basically, right? So the same person that would buy this, I think, would be the person that would buy the Vision Pro, but like even less of them, because I don't think, from my understanding, there's a, let's just say, a payment plan. Like, at least with a phone, there's gonna be a payment plan like monthly with your phone bill or whatever. But with this thing, this is kind of the thing where you gotta like just buy it outright unless you're gonna like get it financed. So I'm just like, the amount of people that would buy this is just smaller and smaller and smaller. So from that, understanding that, I feel like maybe Apple's purpose, their purpose is just to like prove that you can do this concept. Like, it's proof of concept, so to speak, more than they're actually trying to sell it. Like, I'm interested to see what does the second and the third version of this look like, rather than what it's like. This is just like showing us, okay, this is the direction we're going. It's not perfect. It's gonna be a lot of stuff they gotta fix, and this is their device to kind of make mistakes with. But I think their second and third one are gonna be the ones that they're actually trying to sell. So I wonder how cheap they can get the price between now and then. Like, I don't know if they're gonna release one every year, maybe like once every 2 years or something like that. But I'm interested to see how much they can push the technology boundaries with this, though. That's what I want to see.
It's floating there. It kind of looks again like an iPad app, but very glassy, like this frosted glass around the UI, sort of.
The actor Carl Weathers died, aka Apollo Creed. Oh no, R.I.P. to him. Hold on. Hold on, let me see what this guy looked like. Oh yeah, I have seen this guy. Dang, R.I.P. to my guy, bro. Dang. Oh yeah, he's him from the original movie. Got it. Dang, he was 76. Hey man, life is a precious thing, bro.
You see through a little bit to the color behind it, and it even sometimes casts a shadow on the ground in the correct Z space, so it really solidifies that it's floating in front of you. All of this makes it feel like
hey, he said Z space. I just so happen to know what that is because I watched a video explaining how video games are made. I know what that is. I'm just happy to say that I know what that word means or phrase or whatever.
Window is in the space around you. Then, if you look at the bottom of the window, you get a little bar. You can always just look at that bar and pinch to drag it around. So drag it forward, backward, anywhere you want.
Yo, that's kind of fine. Like, imagine you cooking in the kitchen. You like, oh, hold on, let me drag my Apple Music to the side so I can see the food in front of me. Like, that's kind of tough. But like, this is like a toy. Like, this is a rich person's toy. I'm not mad at it. I'm just waiting for it to get to the point where like regular people will have some type of use for it. And they're probably gonna need another like 5 to 10 years, I think, to get there. But like, then again, technology moves very fast and they have a lot of creative people around. And because they listen to content creators, if they listen to the tech creators and the community, they can improve this thing so fast. But if they don't listen and they don't, like, they get upset or they don't take the advice or whatever, then they're gonna be stuck trying to figure out how to make this useful, and it might end up being a flop. But honestly, forget Apple. I'm trying to see what the Android companies can do with something like this. I want to see whoever it's gonna be, Samsung, LG, Google, shit, maybe even Google try to make one like this. Honestly, like, who would y'all think would be the best like Android company to make a VR computer? What do they call it? Computer. Microsoft might try to do it low key. I think Microsoft has to take to do it, but they probably don't have the budget. Honestly, Samsung, I think they would be the best at trying to make something like this, but for the Android version. They got the technology, they have the innovation. I think I would like to see what they can do with this, but Apple kind of just got dibs. But once all the companies start doing the same thing, then we're really gonna start to see like what you could actually do, like pushing the limits with this. They already stole and burnt the Jackie Robinson statue day one of Black History. What? Who did that? Hey, white folks, I know y'all going extinct or whatever, but like, you don't have to take it out in a statue, y'all. You don't have to take it out in the statue.
On in X, Y, and Z space, and then let go, and it just stays absolutely locked. And then you can look at either bottom corner to resize, to make it bigger or smaller. And then finally, there's a little X at the bottom. You select that, that closes it. So that is the basics of Vision OS and just using an app. Now, this entire time, by default, and almost any time they can, pass-through is on, which means you have the headset on, but you can see with the cameras right through to everything around you. And I think this is where Apple really wants to normalize the term spatial computing, because it feels like augmented reality. It feels like you're always able to see the space around you. But technically it's not actually AR, because you are still looking at a reconstructed version through a camera feed of the world around you instead of the actual world around you. But maybe it's all just semantics. I will say this is the best pass-through of any VR headset I've ever used, and it's not even that close. Now, again, it's so hard to get this through a YouTube video. It does have screen recording built in, so I'm gonna try to use that, but imagine putting a headset on and not really feeling like you're looking at a screen with the real world. Because of the pixel density, because of the 90 hertz refresh rate, and because of the impressive dynamic range of the cameras and the correctly adjusting shutter speed, you just almost just feel like you're looking at the real world, not through a headset. Also, the pass-through is so close to real time that I could legitimately interact with all kinds of things. I could catch items flying at me. I even tried playing ping pong. It was easy, no hesitation. So
the weird sit extinct. Yeah, like, bro, let's be real. That's how they're acting, bro. That's how they're acting like they're going extinct. I was exaggerating when I said that, and I was being funny. But like white people, like they understand like they're getting outnumbered. Like in the United States in particular, in the world they're already outnumbered, but you wouldn't know that from the way people talk about it. But like no tea, no shade, white folks. It's all love. I'm just saying for those of y'all that are race rioters, you know, and the ones that like to go terrorize immigrants and shit, for those of y'all white people, you know, y'all are literally kicking and screaming on y'all way down. Like, girl, that ratio of white to everyone else is still gonna go down. It's still gonna be outnumbered in 2050. I mean, y'all can riot as much as y'all want, try to stop abortions. Y'all numbers still going down, bro. Is it like it is what it is? Like, but you know, that's all it is. It's just like evolutionary instinct of like not wanting to get wiped out or eliminated. You would think they're going extinct the way that some of these folks are acting. Like, have y'all seen this stuff at the board? That's what it was. Hold on, y'all. It was what's his name? I think somebody did a video about the people going to the border and like turning into militias to like shoot and kill immigrants or something like that. It was crazy. It was crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Officially, the R1 chip is doing all the processing of all this stuff and adjusting the shutter speed for different lighting conditions and always keeping pass-through latency under 12 milliseconds, which is the lowest in the industry. But it's really combining that with how close to reality the colors and brightness and everything are that keeps it feeling kind of real. Basically, the only noticeable restriction is super close-up items and objects can get a bit blurry, and then you can't quite make out like really small or fine text, so you can't like read an email or tiny text on your phone in your hand, but you can absolutely text people or read your notifications while keeping the headset on. If you've tried other VR headsets, you know how impressive that is. It's really good with the tech that exists now for VR headsets. But you can definitely still take the headset off and be like, oh, it's way brighter in here than I thought it was. Either way, that's all pass through. But if you ever want to
Sick,
fully
you can
immerse
use your
yourself,
hands instead of
there's a VR
holding the
headset after all.
controller. Yeah, that's
All you gotta
fire.
do is rotate this digital crown clockwise. Just keep turning it, and it will slowly dial your environment more and more into your field of view until you dial it all the way up to fully surrounding
that's
you.
fire.
So all of the windows you might have had open will still stay stuck where they were, but everything you're doing is just on the moon now.
Oh, that's
So yeah,
tough.
there's a couple environments Apple has built in here. Most of them relaxing scenic
Environments.
locations, like in California somewhere.
Okay, that's pretty
Or one
cool.
really nice one is Mount Hood with a little bit of rain falling. They're
Okay,
not quite
fire
photorealistic,
meditation.
but they're just short of photorealistic. Like they're the most realistic digital environments that I've seen. So then the last two big quirks of the UI. Control Center. So the only way to get to Control Center is to look up, like, and you can't just look up, but you have to physically turn your head up and look at this arrow that appears above you. So once you see that, you select that, and then you get your Control Center for things like, you know, battery life and notifications, focus modes, and screen recording, and pairing to a Mac. But the other big quirk is text input. So you might be wondering, how does text input work with no physical controllers? So there's basically three ways to do this. So let's say you're in Safari and you want to go to mkbhd.com. You really want one of those shiny new Chevron hoodies for the rest of winter. Great. How do you do it? So the first way is to literally hunt and peck, poking the keys on the keyboard that appears in the air in front of you. So this one is tough because it literally only reacts to your pointer finger on each hand. So you actually can't type fast like with home row or anything like that. Not great. The second way, though, I think is actually kind of good. It's at least faster.
They gotta fix
which
that.
is looking at the key you want to interact with and then pinching to select
Really?
it. So just looking around the keyboard like this and selecting the keys. And
No
you might be surprised how
way.
fast you can type like this if you actually know your way around a keyboard pretty well. I actually prefer this to poking the virtual keys
Wow,
because I at least get a
that's-
little bit of haptic feedback from my own fingers tapping together.
Wow,
But
okay,
then in
that's
Safari,
kind
the
of
last way to do it
crazy.
is literally to just look up at the microphone and say the URL out loud, mkbhd.com. And then it just hears you and goes to the site pretty quick if it's a URL that, you know, you can actually say out loud. So what can you actually do with this thing? Like now that we know what it is, it's the M2 chip, a computer on your face with the displays and the lenses inside and all sorts of sensors everywhere. What can this thing actually do? And I feel like the most common way to phrase that is, what is the killer app? Because we feel like we need some sort of justification to spend $3,000-$4,000 on this thing. Like applications made the iPhone what it is as we know it. Like apps made the iPad. So what is the app situation on the Vision Pro? So there are two types of apps on the Vision Pro, actually. The first is apps that are built specifically for the Vision Pro to take advantage of its awesome experiences. And there are a few of those right now. And then there are all the other apps, which basically are iPhone and iPad apps that happen to be compatible because the developer didn't opt out. And the first kind is way cooler. So these are Apple's stock apps here that come with the Vision Pro. And so these are all, of course, made just for Vision Pro. So they're going to have stuff that takes full advantage of what this thing is capable of. Apple Music is a pretty classic one. Like, it has all the same functionality of any other Apple Music app, but in this super glassy frosted window, and shows the colors of whatever's behind it. And you have the sort of sorting menu on the left-hand side instead of across the bottom. That's the basic layout. Same thing with the Notes app and the Settings app, very glassy, almost looking like an iPad app in the air, just rebuilt with this new material design. And then there's the media apps, so Apple TV and Disney Plus. They both come pre-installed, which they have built entire environments inside of them for watching media. And there's even a small collection of videos on the Apple TV app that are shot on a new proprietary format specifically for Vision Pro. So it drops you into a space with a full 180-degree video, and Alicia Keys walks right up to you and starts singing right to your face.
I gotta see that one.
It's crazy. There's also the Photos app, which will let you look at panoramic photos, for example, in this fully immersive view. So you can blow them up to full screen, and then it gives you a bit of parallax.
You can't tell us that. You can't tell us that and then not show us what it looked like. Come on, bro.
Effect around the edges, so it feels like
Apple,
you're like
y'all
looking into
show
a
the
window
video
of your own photo and looking around. It's kind of incredible. And then there's also some other really fun third-party apps that I've tried that were built ahead of time. So Sky Guide, this is a good one. You can look around a real representation of the sky around you, where any of the constellations would normally be. You can look at it a little longer and it'll pop it out. You can pull it out of the sky to get more information about it. It's a pretty great idea. There's another one called Jig Space, which it's a sick app. I don't know if I'd ever use it, but basically it lets you load 3D models into the space you're in and mess around with them, take them apart, view them in actual size. And this really takes advantage of how good the placement lock is on the Vision Pro. And you can walk around and really gets you a better understanding of the scale of things that you don't get to see up close.
That's kind of tough. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just an expensive toy because like it looks cool, but like not anything that's truly like substantial. Like, but if you got just buku money, you could just waste 5-6K on this.
Often. And then Keynote is another
that's kind of cool though. You could take the parts off,
and so you can of course go through and edit a keynote just like normal if you want to, but then they've built this whole environment for practicing
conference room. I'm dead.
So you press that and it says, oh, would you like to go to a conference room or the literal Steve Jobs theater? So you can rehearse talking to your audience with your keynote slides behind you.
Oh wow,
it is genuinely incredibly immersive.
Oh, that's
and there's already a bunch more apps like this in the App Store already at launch that are specifically built for Vision Pro, so they'll take advantage of its various strengths. Now, are any of these a killer app? Not really. I mean, I don't. If you're looking for any one of these to be the reason why you spend like $4,000 on this headset, I don't think we have that yet. But then at least there's all the other non-native, but technically still compatible apps that are in the App Store, and these are going to look just like iPhone and iPad apps. Actually, there's a pre-installed folder on the home screen when you get this thing, literally called Compatible Apps. And there's a bunch of them from Apple here. They look exactly like iPad apps. I'm surprised actually that more of them aren't fully built out to take advantage of Vision Pro, but like Apple Maps is just the iPad app. And so it would be cool if there was
it's like, okay, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, Apple don't really care about this product doing well, because if they did, they would have already had a ton of apps. They would have waited until they had a ton of apps that were optimized for the Vision Pro. But you're just like copying and pasting like iPhone and iPad apps. I don't really see like how that's cool. I mean, yeah, I can look at the app in 3D space. Now what? Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like that's so
augmented reality overlay, walking directions type stuff. But nope, it's all the exact same functionality that you would find if you open this app on your iPad. And you can go to the App Store and search a bunch of the names of apps you already know and love and find them by name and grab them, and they'll work the exact same way. Crazily enough, though, there are already some notable exceptions. No Netflix app for the Vision Pro, no YouTube app for the Vision Pro, no Spotify app for the Vision Pro.
Space.
Apple
what's good, gang?
Kind of a contentious
you already
relationship
know
with a lot of
the one and only Space the God is in the building. Girl, I've been chilling. I was editing that video that I posted yesterday. Shout out to all of you guys for checking it out. It took me 6 hours to edit that 2-hour video, y'all. It really did. It really did. So thank you to all of you guys that got to check it out. Just getting home from work. Let's go. L work, W home. No cap. I had so much fun editing it, even though it took me a while. You said not to zoom in on my comments. I'm dead. Hold on. I respond. Yeah, Space, we're just checking out this Apple Vision Pro and seeing like what it can do. So far, you know, it looks like an overpriced VR. I think that's his name with the FBI part. Yeah. See. Mm-hmm. He said he was waiting on this moment. How was your day though? How was your day?
And so some have made the active choice to opt out. They're like, we don't want to be there. This won't be a big enough platform to matter to us to justify the work. So they're not there. Now I totally get it. But also now as a Vision Pro owner and someone who's using it, I'm like, it's kind of a bummer. I really wanted to be able to watch like a Netflix show offline, downloaded ahead of time.
Hold on,
you can't
bro.
do that now. But at least,
hold on.
For now, for the record.
You telling me you gonna release this Apple Vision Pro VR and not even have Netflix? Like, you know, Netflix gonna be one of the main things people want to watch. How did they not get that deal worked out? That thing looks crazy. One dude was showing you could watch like yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Yeah, it was like an Asian dude, right? I think I saw that same video on NBA Twitter yesterday. That was kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that honestly looks like one of the coolest apps.
You can use the browser and anything that would work in the browser. So if you pull up Safari and you get a full screen 4K YouTube video going and locked in space or even in an environment, it looks great. It's razor sharp. Like, I could totally watch YouTube videos like this, but you will definitely be missing like the features of having a dedicated app like offline video. Honestly, to me, the killer app of the Vision Pro isn't just an app, it's actually the ecosystem. And we knew this was coming, but the second you log into a Vision Pro with your Apple ID, immediately it starts pulling all the services and all the stuff that you're used to from all the other Apple devices you already have.
Work was cool. I ain't even do nothing for real. Oh, I love that.
I said this before the Vision Pro is announced.
I love
this
that
is the most obvious strategy for Apple because
we love not doing nothing at work.
Lots of people out there who have never considered buying a VR headset that are considering only this one because they have an iPhone and this is the one that works with the iPhone and none of the others are particularly close. So all of your iMessages are already here. All of your photos are already here and loaded up and backed up. All your notes are already at your fingertips. You already saw the Keynote app. But okay, easily my favorite feature is connecting to your Mac. Right, so anytime your Mac is in front of you and it's turned on, hit that arrow, and then there's this little icon to become my Mac's virtual display. So I click that and then pick my Mac, and it pretty much instantly, it actually blacks out the display of my Mac and then turns that display into a 4K window inside of the headset. So now my keyboard and trackpad still work, even if it is a desktop, the keyboard and the trackpad still control everything, and you can continue using it just like a normal computer, but with the ability to make your new 4K monitor as big or as small or close or far away as you want, which is super sick. And then the bonus is you can still open up and place other Vision Pro apps around your Mac computer. So like you can have your Mac in the middle here, and maybe you're editing or doing some work on the Mac app, and then you have a Safari window or messages or whatever else you want right next to it around it. And then your keyboard and trackpad can move seamlessly between them all to control all of them. This to me, as a Mac user, the ease of use for setup to make this happen, this feels like the biggest game changer, like the most compelling, futuristic feeling use of this headset to me, especially on a plane. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I've had an awkward conversation because like I'm editing a video on the plane, the person next to me sees I'm editing a video of myself and it's kind of weird and hard to explain, but I'm picturing putting the headset on, the display blacks out, but now I can do all the editing I want and I can make the screen as big as I want. So I've really enjoyed using that feature. Again, the biggest challenge though is still remembering to look exactly at the thing you want to control. So aside from typing on the real keyboard on whatever window is open, if you want to control something, you have to be looking at it. Again, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you try it, you'll see what I mean. And then also, odd limitation, one monitor only. From the Mac, one virtual monitor only at a time. So if you usually run like a dual display setup like I do for Final Cut Pro, big preview on one side, timeline on the other side, you can't do that. You have to use the big one monitor version of your setup. All right, so you might have realized I've left one thing out this whole time. One thing, you could call it one more thing. Sure, it's one more huge, crazy thing, but it's kind of the defining characteristic of this product, and that is personas. So in all the advertising you've seen of Vision Pro, there's these eyes on the outside of the headset that looks like they're kind of in like a pass-through, like in a dark astronaut helmet type of thing. Easily the most memed, most unique aspect of this headset, right? It's the only headset with an outward display. And I mean, it's very, very prominent in those videos. But in real life, as you've started to see from some of my footage, it is very different. And I think I figured out why. So first of all, it's not actually see-through, right? There's a whole bunch of computer in between me and you right now. So the eyes aren't on the outside. It's a representation of my eyes based on what all the sensors on the inside are seeing.
Yeah, that stuff was
reconstructing on
looking
the outside.
creepy.
So those sensors are tracking at 90 frames per second, and they give you optic ID, which is, it's how you log into the headset and keep things secure. It's basically the same as Face ID or Touch ID. It's just looking at and identifying your eyes. And it also powers the one beta feature of this headset, which is personas. Which is, it's the most impressive and weirdest thing about this headset at the same time. I'm calling it right now. So the purpose of the eyes on the outside is really not for you, the wearer of the headset. In fact, you'll never see it, but it's for the people around you. So when you're in a pass-through mode, your eyes will shine through to indicate that you wearing the headset can see the person outside. So that right there is already pretty unique. But then when you're in something immersive and you can't see what's around you, it covers up your eyes with this sort of like a blue, purple, glowing animation. So that intuitively makes sense. You can see the eyes when they can see you. You can't see the eyes when they can't see you. But crazily enough, there's also a feature where if you have someone who's outside the headset looking at you, talking to you, and you are in an immersion, but you want to talk to them through that, they will kind of appear through the fog of whatever immersive environment you're in. So you just start talking and looking in their direction.
Okay, I gotta see this.
And sort of parts a little bit of a fog, and that person's eyes
I gotta see this.
It's pretty decent. It basically only shows one person at a time, and when this is happening on the outside of the headset, it shows a little bit of your eyes poking through the purple and blue glow.
Yo, that's kind of crazy.
As you can see, it's all working, but also...
Yo, that's trippy. That's trippy. That's trippy. That's trippy.
I think it looks nothing like the eyes from the ad. So in an effort to make the eyes as presentable as possible, two things. First of all, this screen is actually behind a lenticular film, which I didn't even realize that from the initial media they published, but if you've ever heard of that, it's sort of what gives it like this 3D depth. You might have seen this on other like holographic displays and stuff, but the point of that is to make the eyes appear to be sunken into the display, like on your actual face, instead of like glued to the front of the headset, which would look a little more weird. But then two, to represent your actual eyes, they've built in a way to scan in and create a digital representation of your face, which is called your persona. And it looks like this. So to get those eyes on the outside of the Vision Pro headset, you have to do something called registering your persona. This is how it creates the digital version of you that includes your eyes that will show up here. So let's do that now. It's actually kind of a cool process. So I'm gonna put it on, and hopefully the screen recording works so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'll hit the digital crown, I'm gonna go to settings, and you can do this when you first set it up, but I'm going to persona, and I'm gonna hit get started. So let's refine my hands real quick. This is capturing detail from the front of the headset of the hands in front of me.
Okay.
Once it's done with that, it's gonna ask me to take
like I said this, bro. I said this. Marquise Brownlee. Marquise Brownlee is the tech YouTuber GOAT. Like, I can't sit here and watch nobody else's video on tech reviews but Marquise. Like, I used to watch a few people back in the day. I used to watch what's the guy? Unbox Review. That's not his name. His name is not Unbox Reviews. Okay. I don't know how many of y'all watch tech YouTube, but you might know who I'm talking about. He's from Canada, white guy, has a beard. His name is Lou. Unbox something. Somebody in YouTube, y'all help me out. I'm looking it up, bro. I can't move on without knowing this guy's name. It was like Unbox Therapy. Yes, Unbox Therapy. I grew up watching Unbox Therapy. I wondered that he used the Vision Pro. Did he get it? He did. He said Apple Vision Pro with Android. Okay. That's one of the other tech review goats. I love Lou, bro. Come on, bro. He's so fire. But that being said, like I said, Marquise is the GOAT. Linus, I watched his stuff, some of his stuff, but like I never got a hoopla about Linus. He's cool, but he doesn't do anything like just outstanding. No shade, no shade. But like, if y'all know who Linus is, this is what he looks like. He's also one of the GOATs, but Marquise is the GOAT. I don't know how he does it, but he makes the reviews and stuff like hella entertaining. Yo, thank you for the emotes, Twitch Kings. I appreciate you, bro.
Align your entire face within the frame.
My face shows up like Face ID.
Slowly turn your head to the right. Now slowly turn your head to the left. Now tilt your head up. Then tilt your head down. Next, let's capture your facial expressions. Smile with your mouth closed. Then make a big smile with your teeth showing. Now raise your eyebrows. Close your eyes for a moment. Capture complete. Put Vision Pro back on to continue.
Okay, let's see
I will do
this.
that. So now I have a menu that says creating persona, and it says it's in beta, and now there's my persona right there. Kind of uncanny. The hair's a little bit different, but the face...
Yo,
Wow.
that looks
Wow, okay.
creepy.
So there's different lighting. You can choose it to always be in studio lighting and always be in contour lighting. I'll just leave it at natural and hit next. You can change the color temperature of your skin tone. Cool to warm. I think I'm around there. Brightness, darkness. I think I'm around there, near the middle. Next. And then I can add glasses. So if I typically have glasses, which obviously I wouldn't be able to wear in the Vision Pro, you can still look.
Still look creepy. Bro looks like a Sims character. Not gonna lie.
Safe, and that's it.
Okay, let
So
me
I
see
think
the eyes,
now-
bro. I gotta see the eyes.
You should see my eyes. Maybe. And that's the thing. It barely shows up. You can barely
I
see
couldn't even-
my eyes.
Yeah, okay, girl. I'm glad he said that because I was like, was I supposed to see something? Was something supposed to be there? Because I didn't see anything. Well, I'm over here looking hard. Like, is it the lighting? Like,
You should see my eyes.
I can't see shit.
Maybe. And that's the thing. It barely shows up. You can barely see my eyes when I'm wearing the headset. Now, I've tried a couple other scans
Scams.
subsequently, so I've tried different lighting conditions. I've tried different backgrounds, simple backgrounds, tried different shirts and things like that. It doesn't really ever appear any brighter. I think if you have a darker skin tone like me, just don't expect the eyes to show up very brightly on the outside of the headset. It's pretty subtle. Even when it does show up, it's a little weird looking. The eyes are a little too far apart sometimes. They're a little dim. You see like one eye at a time. It's kind of weird. But that persona though, whew, that is some pretty interesting stuff. It's crazy that this is actually a real thing being shipped. Like first Meta started doing it, now Apple's doing this. This is, again, it's technically in beta, so I don't know, there's room for improvement, but it's still
Yo, oh dang, is Josh in the building? What's good, my guy? How you doing, bro? Welcome on in. I hope you had a good week. How you feeling? Space said, I feel like the eyes look goopy as hell when you can see it. Right? Like, Space, what if they realized that? Because you remember when they released the trailer for this, everyone was talking about how crazy the eyes look. So what if they were like, you know what? Okay, when we actually ship these out, we gonna make sure it don't look that visible because it was getting clowned. I low-key feel like that's what they did. Because we were definitely trolling how those eyes look. Like, everyone said the eyes look creepy.
works. But as of right now, I feel like this is both incredibly impressive and
What the?
slightly unsettling. Like it's very impressive that this thing, this headset I'm wearing on my face is tracking
Yo, this is crazy. How am I watching this? Okay, what is the persona used for, though? His monitor's trippy? Hold on, I gotta see it.
all these little
What
micro expressions
the-
and little movements for my eyes and my cheeks and my mouth and everything.
Every time he sticks his tongue out, it looks fucking crazy.
But at the same time, it's just not quite human. It's right at the edge of the uncanny valley of I'm not looking at a person. So
He looks like a very high quality sim.
yeah. But the crazy part is you can now
Oh, the monitor with the screen. Yeah, that does look pretty sick. What you up to today, Josh?
use this persona as your camera feed for any apps in Vision Pro that require a front-facing camera, like FaceTime. And so I've been using FaceTime a few times in the Vision Pro, and it is technically speaking
So it picks up his features. Yeah, he like scanned his face in and everything, and it seems like I remember the commercial. They said the personas is for something. Oh, it's for the FaceTimes, I think. Yeah, that's what it's for. I knew it was for something, but I was like, what did they say you need that for? I think that's how you show up on FaceTime, because the headset is on your face, so they can't. She said, "Oh my lord." Yeah, because like if you got the headset on, they can't see your face for a FaceTime call. So they basically do that little scan of you, the little I don't know, they call it persona. So when people call you on FaceTime, that's what they're gonna see. And they don't have like the mouth moving with your word. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of a crazy concept. Josh said, not much, just did some house stuff, cleaned the aquarium, losing track of shrimp and lobsters apparently. Wait, hold on now. Did somebody steal the shrimp and lobsters? Did somebody steal the shrimp and lobsters, Josh? Who's stealing the shrimp and lobsters? Because you can't lose them, bro. Like, or did they die? I don't know, bro. I've never had shrimp and lobsters in an aquarium. I've had like fish, but never like that. But when's your next stream, Josh? Like the emoji thing, but better. Yeah, that's a good comparison. The little emoji they have.
Incredible. So I've made a few FaceTime calls in the past few days with some fellow reviewers who you'll probably recognize from their personas, who are also testing the Vision Pro. And universally, once we all got past the shock of, oh my God, it's you, it looks like a digital version of you, this is crazy, I've never seen anything like this before. Once we got past that, there is a ton happening here. So you can see the FaceTime window.
I like what they're trying to do. Pretty sure it's African clock frog we got eating like a king. See, I gotta look that up. Oh my God. It can eat all that? How big is this thing? I'm not gonna lie, bro. You got the whole damn ocean in there, bro. Rope fish. Rope fish. See, you got all types of stuff I never heard of. Rope fish. Oh, it looks like a snake. Really? I'm surprised they don't call it a snake fish, bro. This thing looks like a snake. They had an opportunity to do something cool with naming this thing and they missed. It even looks like an eel. Shit, I would call it an eel fish. Like mini dragon snakes, yeah. Space say it's cool, but it's just weird and creepy at the same time. I agree, like it looked crazy. You know what they look like? They look like the pictures, you know, when somebody died and they put them on a t-shirt. It looked like that. Or how they be looking on the front of the obituary. No cap. No cap. That's what they look like. I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God. I'm not even trying to be funny, but that's like the first thing I thought of. It maybe it's the way that they like are partially faded away or the background, but that's what it's giving. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, they in the ghetto clouds, bro. They in the ghetto clouds. That's what it's giving, dead ass. I don't know why, bro.
As just that. They're just like glassy windows floating in space with people looking through them. And then the angle that you look into the window is going to match the angle that they see you looking at them. Meaning, if we're all in Vision Pros on this call, unlikely, but hear me out. If we're all in Vision Pros, and you've got a bunch of people on this FaceTime call, so there's somebody to the left and somebody to the right. If I look to the person and make eye contact with the person to the right, the person to the left sees like the side of my head because I'm looking at somebody else. That's already pretty cool. And then the same thing is true for hand gestures. So we tried this out. Turns out you can reach out and make hand gestures that are tracked by the cameras in this bubble in front of you, and they show up at the correct angle towards the person that you're gesturing at.
Okay,
so
see
not
this.
towards everybody else on the call. Oh, wait. That's okay, good test. So wait,
Oh
Justine,
my
do you see
God,
this?
what the? This is crazy. This is actually crazy. Yo, this is his hand.
And
I
Brian,
don't see that. I don't see that, Marquez.
Now wait, so now Brian, do you see
Now,
this?
now I can see that, Marquez.
And then on top of that, spatial audio here is incredibly well developed.
What?
So again, you're on the call. The voice of the person to the right comes from the right side. The voice of the person to the left comes from the left. But also, you can just pick up and move the window around, and that angle will match where the people are in the room and where their sound and video comes from. If I put you on the other side of the room, it sounds like they're further away. And if I turn up the environment and bring them into like the moon or some other 3D space, it actually sounds much more like I'm in a gigantic space with no echo versus in the actual room. It's all very subtle, but very well considered. So once you're in this a while, you start to notice all these little smaller things. Again, it's not quite human-like. It's not like looking at a video feed of a human face, but it is still like, it has a lot of like, this would be the best avatar anyone's ever made in 2K. Like no one's ever done a 2K face scan and had it look this good, but it's still not as good as like a perfect reality. You've heard the Uncanny Valley thing before. I think the number one weakness for the avatars or the personas that I've seen is hair. So basically everyone I've talked to has like a frozen lump of hair instead of flowing realistic hair. And that's true about all flowing things. Like however your hair was when you did the scan, it's frozen that way. And so is any necklace you're wearing, whether it's crooked or not. Or I guess technically also any makeup you had on or however you looked when you did the scan. Maybe that could be a good thing. Maybe you did a scan when you were looking all dolled up and then you get on a 7 a.m. call and you still look perfect, even though you look like you just woke up in real life. So I guess there's that too. But anyway, all that is to say, FaceTime. FaceTime is the most well thought out, like most futuristic Vision Pro experience. It just is. So I'll end this video with this. Now you know what it's like to use and operate the Vision Pro. But there's still a lot more to consider when actually considering if you should buy and own this thing, from the use cases to the things that work well and don't work well, the philosophy behind it, the prices.
$5,000, $6,000, and there's not even enough apps developed for it? I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. Not in this economy, unless you just got stupid money. It makes no sense.
All that stuff. That's what's going to be for my full review. Like there are parts of this
thing
he's
that doing a full review. This isn't even
amazing,
it?
Unparalleled, best I've ever seen. But the reason it's so interesting is because it's actually a young category. Like we're so used to this slow, boring iteration in mature categories like smartphones and laptops. And you always see the comments talking about how tech is so boring. But now they're actually jumping into something risky and it's actually fun. And there's downfalls and flaws. And it's fun to actually weigh the pros and cons.
The eyes
so I'll be
are
explaining
crazy.
all these way more in the full review, but I'll leave you with this. I've got my upsides and downsides to Vision Pro. It's been a week. Upsides, some of the stuff that's the best I've ever seen in a headset: immersion, placement in space, eye tracking and hand control, pass-through, ecosystem, and spatial audio. And the downsides: weight and comfort, the eyes on the outside, app selection right now, battery life, and price. So the full review's in the works. Definitely get subscribed to be among the first to see that when it drops. Either way, till the next one, thanks for watching.